Good evening from Carroll Stadium, where tonight Indy 11 returns home to Carroll Stadium to the mic, but falls 1-0 at the hands of Birmingham Legion FC, who reclaimed the top spot in the Central Division standings. We're joined now to talk about the result by interim head coach for the Indy 11, Max Rogers. As soon as we can figure out the technology now. Max, John Cluter up in the press box. Can you hear me?
Yeah, John, got you.
Hey, thanks for joining us. First of all, after a rough result, talk a little bit how you felt your Chargers came out tonight. Just to start the game, we've talked in the past about the team wanting to be on the front foot and kind of steering the play. How do you think the guys did with that tonight?
Yeah, I mean, the first half was obviously a slow start when they get a penalty, which I think was a harsh call, but it is what it is. But they get that within 10 minutes, so it doesn't take a specialist to see that you start the game slowly. But we grew into the first half and obviously had some good kind of balls into the box. We just missed that final touch. And once we sort of passed the ball and understood their shape, which was a little bit different to what they had used previously, I think we obviously grew into the game. And second half, it was all us. And again, the players showed good spirit to keep going, to keep looking to try and create chances. We just lacked that final ball, the final touch on a cross. So, but as I said, the spirit was really good, and I think that's a real positive for everyone to see.
The stats bear that out. Almost twice as many passes on the evening as Birmingham, 558 to 290. Crosses were 24 to 10. Unfortunately, as you mentioned, it was the finishing touch. Only 3 shots, 15 on target on the evening. Other than better finishing, what's the remedy to perhaps get more of those chances on frame? What can you work on to better those odds heading into a midweek match Wednesday in Atlanta?
Yeah, well, with the passes and the sort of crosses, you also have to look at the context of it. So where were the passes and what type of crosses, and were we making runs into the correct areas in the penalty box and sort of filling those key zones. To go back to Louisville, don't like to reflect too much, but sort of in that game we had maybe 4 or 5 shots on target and scored 3 goals. So sometimes in football that happens. You can have a game where everything you touch goes in, and sometimes it doesn't, and that's just the game at times, and that's why it can be unpredictable and why everyone loves it. But obviously we want to make sure that we're creating quality chances for the strikers and for the attackers, and it just comes back to sort of making sure we're attacking those key areas in the box, so when the ball does come in, the finish is an easier touch.
On the other side of the ball, no goals from the run of play. Bobby Edwards with, I believe, 5 saves on the night. Talk a little about the effort on that side of the ball and what you were pleased with, especially probably after the first 20-25 minutes. Defense did really seem to clamp down on quality chances coming from Birmingham.
Yes, as I said, they played a different shape to what we kind of thought, and that's on me obviously to prepare the players and then communicate that across to them. So it probably took us a little bit longer than was ideal to kind of press and defend against their shape. But once we got to grips with it, we were obviously a lot more comfortable. And second half, we were on the front foot more, and their biggest threat came from just sort of playing longer and winning second balls, and that's part of football that you obviously have to do, that sort of gritty side. And again, they probably did that a little bit better first half, but second half we were much better at that. And I know AJ in particular won a lot of key headers, and the midfield players picked up some good second balls, and when you do that, that takes away obviously their platform to attack and make sure that you can be on the front foot again.
And finally, it was good to see Ioze get a full 90 minutes again tonight, especially after he missed some time earlier in the season with injuries. How much does a guy like Ioze, especially when you're talking short passing game and linking up with guys, how important is it to have a guy like Ioze at full strength and really helping to drive that ship?
Sorry, I lost you at the end there.
Sorry. Talking about just having Ioze back for 90 minutes. Similar effort as against Louisville the other night or last weekend. Let's talk about how important is for a guy of his skill, of his quality, especially to execute a passing game where there's going to be more short balls and just having his touch and his instinct out there. How much does that help you drive home what you're trying to teach these guys in a slightly different way to attack?
Yeah, and I think you can see he's got a good relationship with Nicky and with Hack as well. The three of them have a good relationship, so we obviously want to build that with the other players. But Ayo obviously has fantastic experience. He's played at a really high level, so he knows the game inside out, and he can obviously impart that onto his teammates. And it's been good to obviously, I think, for the 2 of the 3 games he's played in the 90 minutes. So, and I know that he's a winner. He wants to win. He wants to compete. He wants the team to do well. So he's perfect in that sense. And as you said, his technical quality and ability on the ball kind of suits how I want the team to play, going into obviously the final third and whatnot.
All right, Max, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll talk to you in midweek, Wednesday night, after we visit Atlanta. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, John. Cheers.
Take care. Again, that was interim head coach Max Rogers joining us on the Honda Central Indiana Honda Dealer post-game show. I believe Mr. Mason will be hopping back on the headset, and there he is, Josh. Barely have time to get into the post-game show before we talk to Coach, so we'll kind of recap things here. As Max mentioned, first key intervention of the match came 7 minutes in when it was deemed Carl Ouimet had taken down J.J. Williams inside the box. Was there contact? Yeah. Was it slight? Sure. Did Williams make the most out of the opportunity? He absolutely did. It was enough to fool the center referee into a point to the spots where Nico Brett converted his 8th goal of the season, now co-leader in that category in the Eastern Conference, 2nd overall in the entirety of the USL Championship. That conversion from the spot gave Birmingham a 1-0 lead, and that's how we would stay for more than the next 80 minutes throughout the first half and into the entirety of the second, as well as stoppage time. Birmingham really controlling the run of play over the first 25, 30 minutes. Ended the first half with a 10-5 shots advantage over Indy 11. And I think you could tell coming out of the halftime break, that was something Max Rogers asked his guys to change quite a bit, and they did so, actually ending the match. As we check out the USL Championship.com match center for statistics, ending the match with a 15-13 shot advantage. So they outshot Birmingham 10-3 in the second half. Unfortunately, only 2 of those chances ended up being on goal. I believe that was an early shot by Gordon Wild, as well as one to pretty much end the quality chances for Indy 11 as the match creeped into stoppage time, a free kick opportunity from about 25 yards out. That our familiar foe, goalkeeper Matt Van Okel, who I think has been playing games here against Indy 11 at the mic since like 89, ended up gobbling without a rebound and really kind of taking the sails out of the remainder of the match. It's staying 1-0 till the final breaths and the referee's final whistle. Josh, thoughts, insights as you watched the match develop a little bit from ground level?
Well, a couple things I want to say about this evening. First and foremost, so everybody who came out tonight, wow, what a great energy coming off what we feel like is getting back to normalcy. I want to give full shout out to the entire Indy 11 staff in regards to being ready for this evening. Charles Walls and everybody else for the great promotion we ran this evening. So thank you for those of you who did attend this evening. We definitely appreciate it. We felt the energy here in the stands. And again, as you saw some of the comments, Alex Dunphy in particular thought it was a foul when Matt was a bit impeded first. I mean, some people would see it that way clearly. But, we just we're the ones that just say recap the game. The referees make the calls on the field. So one thing I remind people, too, is if you actually go to the Indy 11 app, we do have real-time stats you can look at in regards to tonight's performance. So clearly there's an opportunity for these to be scrubbed over the course of a day or so with Opta data coming in, but you can see in real-time high performance. So, John, some top-line notes here. Just out of curiosity, John, I don't know if you looked yet, but what do you think the possession was this evening, if you were to take it off the top guess?
Well, the first half, it was about 66-34. Indy to Birmingham. I think it was 66-34. I'm not sure how it ended up, but it couldn't have been much less than that.
Landed right on it.
Yeah.
That's where it lands tonight. 66-34 shots on goal, 11-15 total shots, 3 on target, 13 for Birmingham Legion, 6 on target. So you had to give Birmingham a little credit. I mean, they were definitely more dangerous in the space.
And that's you can have all the possession you want. You can put all the crosses into the box as really you see fit. But if there's not anyone to get on the end of them or some type of numbers advantage, you're just not going to get the chances out of those opportunities that you're looking for. And that's what happened tonight. Again, as Indy 11 falls at home 1-0. Alex Indy 11 UK, thanks for staying up with us, and happy birthday. We see you. Home score continue, and that's unfortunately true. Indy 11 now, I believe, 1-4-1 at home, or for Tom, for you, I believe that's 1-1-4. Make the conversion in your head. I think the point is the same. Something needs to be figured out here at home. We've had games like this, I think the Chelsea match, where we control possession, we control the shots, but the finishing wasn't there. We've had matches like Memphis, where frankly we were outplayed throughout the 90 minutes, and maybe I don't want to say deserving loser, but Memphis earned the 3 points on that night. So I think you're seeing a team that is still very much learning how to figure out how to play with each other. Obviously, a managerial change in the middle of that. In some ways it can help, but it's also when you press the reset button like that, you're asking a new squad of players. Again, only 6 real contributing players returned to the squad this year from last 16 newcomers on the team. Now you're figuring out how to get them to play a second system of football, a second style, a second look at how to attack this ship. And I think tonight you saw glimpses of it. I think there was some great link-up play. I think controlling possession is a strength of this team, and I think it's a system that could work. But I think you also saw some times where there were too many guys in spaces, and guys not making the overlap, where maybe instead of having 3 or 4 guys in the area, you need one of those 2 guys to get off the ball and create some space, create some passing lanes, to get a little more space for balls that can maybe be a little more probing down the field. So it continues to be a work in progress, especially here at home. The road record belies that this is a team that knows how to get results. They just need to figure it out here at the mic. But to your point, Josh, again, another fantastic audience. 1 tick under 7,000 fans. Again, the atmosphere was fantastic. Looked good, sounded good, felt good. It is good to get people back in the stands and get that summer feeling back, baby. So I think if that support continues to show, I do think the guys continue to respond with effort and energy. We just need to make that happen. And to that point, Jeff Purd, fun atmosphere tonight. Thanks, IBEW, for a great promotion. Indeed. I hope we didn't run out of nachos or popcorn or beers or anything like that. I didn't hear any panic calls over the radio. So I'm guessing on that front, Trump was prepared and ready for the masses. We do appreciate their considerable help and IBEW's help for making that $3 promotion night happen. You can look for that again. I believe it's August 14th, and then fittingly Labor Day weekend on the Saturday of that weekend. I believe that's September 4th. So be on the lookout for more of these promotional concession special nights down the road. Jonathan Rice, I see a comment as well. Why are the restarts so slow? I'm wondering if that's from a Indy 11 tactical standpoint or a green team referee standpoint tonight. I think the referee had, let's say, stylistic fashions that were puzzling to me. I don't think it helped the flow of the game much. I don't think it helped restarts. necessarily for either team. But that's just one thing you have to adjust to. If you know a referee's going to stop play and pull out the silly string every time, you got to adjust to that and figure out a way to take advantage of that. Is what it is. Found it a bit odd myself, but I digress. Josh, any parting thoughts before we dip away here?
Parting thoughts, clearly, thank you to IBW, thank you to the Brickyard Battalion tonight for the great effort and the great sound. Definitely reverberate. I love it when we hear the stand stomp again. It felt really good to feel that coming shaking through the building this evening. I mean, I always just care much about the experience as I do about the win. So everybody came tonight. Thank you for your patience if you dealt with lines or anything of those nature. You never know what you're going to get in something like a promotion like this. So thank you for coming out. Thank you for those who felt safe and all the work we've done to make you feel safe while you're here at Carroll Stadium along with Indy 11. Last comments I have really about tonight is just some key performances. I thought Bobby Edwards once again played great in goal. You can't put the PK on him. The other thing I'll quickly note, obviously, the one stat of the night that really stood through on the phone was the offsides call. I think we were offsides in the goal that was not, but clearly was the offsides. Again, we had flashes of brilliance, but again, that final third, the finishing piece is the one piece we got to really start dialing in to get to where we want to think I get to as Indy 11 moving forward. But thank you for everyone who showed up tonight. On behalf of myself, I'll let John close this out.
We'll reset the schedule here. Indy 11 with 2 games on the road this coming week. Wednesday night in Atlanta, or the greater Atlanta area, against Atlanta United 2. That's a 7:30 kickoff. You can see that live on ESPN Plus. Whereas also where you can catch Saturday night's match on the road at OKC Energy FC. That's at 8:30 p.m. kickoff. Maybe put the pot of coffee on, especially you in 11 UK. And get ready for a bit of a later evening in the Sooner State a week from tonight. We'll be wrapping up the first half right about now at this time in 1 week's time. Back here at the mic, try to snap that home winless skid on Saturday, July 17th, when we will welcome Memphis 901 FC for a 7 p.m. kickoff on Community Heroes Night. Presented by our friends at Community Health Network Foundation. If you are a healthcare worker, ask your bosses, ask your employer, be on the lookout for a buy one get one free ticket offer for that night. We want to see as many healthcare industry providers, workers, those who really stepped up over the last 18 months to keep everyone, as they like to say, keep us all on the front foot as much as possible during this pandemic. And it's time to, it's always been time to reward them, but we're happy to do that with, hosting people in the stands here in Fortnite.
Yeah, one final thought, John, reminding people those away games you talk about, go to byb.soccer. Nearly every away game, they are having some kind of plan to be pushing folks to games. Those who travel to Louisville, you outsang an entire end of a home supporter. That is impressive. So thank you for your continued efforts to travel and support this team. We appreciate you here at Indy 11.
And then be on the lookout for watch parties as well. We know our friends at Ellison Brewing Company downtown, our friends at Union Jack, both in Broad Ripple and in Westfield, will be hosting parties. So find a table early, bunk up, and sit in and enjoy a good night of soccer. It's always a good excuse to get to Union Jack on a Wednesday night. So take advantage of that, of course. So for Josh, this is John Kaluter. Thanks again for joining us on the Central Indiana Honda Dealers post-game show. See you here in 2 weeks' time. Thanks for joining, everyone.
Cheers.